components of these docking systems on behalf of large corporations, very much focusing on two big things in these docking systems, not that much on the interface, not that much on the physical or user interface side of things, but actually on the connectivity side of things, the interface of whether VISA versus VISA alt mode versus USB, HDMI, etc., because that's what's the core of a docking system. And secondly, the chipset that will enable some of these interfaces in different scenarios, VR versus enterprise versus consumer. So that's one. Secondly, I'm also very much familiar with the VR space. And thirdly, my general area in the last couple of years has been on the AI chip. So I'm coming from a chip expertise, actually. So currently we are designing a AI chip for robots here at my startup Skywit. That's where I actually come from. And then other experience very specifically related to data for DL is in DLXR. I was at CES in 2017, where I get to try the DisplayLinks XR or the VR technology. It was pretty cool, actually. Then in the past, I've been on the MIT Media Labs, where my focus was on digital communication, signal processing space. So I know really well from the internal technology aspect and what's actually needed. So I worked on software-defined radio. Before that, after that, I worked with Intel Research. And then for the last 10 years, I've been focusing on the business side of the technology. So worked at Oracle and the M&A team for about 6 years, focused on doing due diligence in some of these bigger companies, both on the hardware and the software aspects. And right now, as I mentioned, I'm working on an AI chip company here in San Francisco, which we actually recently incorporated in the UK as well. So that's where both the business side of some of this hardware and software comes to the technology side, where I'm involved in both the technology where we are building an AI chip, which is, and then on the business side of how to really monetize, what are the resources with it, how do you increase investor values.
Okay, very interesting. Look, if you don't mind, we're going to focus the first part of the talk on kind of the more traditional enterprise docking systems, because as of today, that's where DL, let's say that's where the bulk of DL's revenues come from, and I need to assess that positioning. And then anything related to VR, we can kind of touch upon in the second part, because that's more what I consider to be an upside or a future shift, depending on how you think. Yeah.
Correct.
So let's. Yeah. Okay. Great. So let's say focusing on the docking systems and the main kind of technologies that you have there. I'm going to be honest with you. We've had a couple of talks with other experts in the sector last week. So what I understand, and you kind of interrupt me if it's not correct, but as of today, DL has a quite enviable position. It's a leader in its kind of like niche. Its technology has improved over the last couple of years, and as of today, let's say today, not looking into the future, but as of today, they are definite market leaders. Is this how you would assess, or you can comment on this?
That's absolutely correct. That's how I look at it. And I can even give you some speculative numbers in terms of the market share I believe they will have, or they have today. So if you look at the universal docking space, I would say by 2020, the whole space of universal docking station, which is a subset of what we're talking about, would be 65%. And that 65%, 40% I will speculate would be from DisplayLink-based universal docking station.
How much did you say? Sorry.
So for the biggest component in the docking station, and we can talk about different categories, is the universal docking station. So by 2020, I have estimated it's the total market for universal docking station would be 65%. And out of that 65%, the share for DisplayLink chipset-based universal docking station would be around 40%. So more or less half of that market would be from DisplayLink-based chips.
Okay. And who are the players